joining us now with more on all of tonight's new details. The host of Crime Stories on Fox 1, Nancy Grace. All right, we have both been kind of skirting around the issue. We have talked about it privately. I have told you my FBI sources were very clear to me that local authorities, and I'm not talking about rank and file, I want to be very clear. The leadership did not want them there. There has been a turf war. There has been this feeling of bigfooting. But taking a glove and sending it to a private lab in Florida instead of the FBI headquarters in Quantico, really?
There are cases where DNA is sent to a particular lab, a specialty lab, a lab that could have an expertise in diluted, destroyed, old, degenerated DNA. But even if that's why he's hanging his hat on an excuse to send it to a private lab in Florida, they don't have anything that the FBI doesn't have. So that's not going to wash. And I want to tell you something, Sean. I've tried many, many DNA cases. I've tried many cases without DNA. You can use up DNA if you have a small amount, which comes from touch DNA. It's not like blood or sperm where you may have a lot of DNA and a very small amount of fluid, but you have a lot of DNA. Touch DNA, no. If there is it hurts me to think of this. If there is a small amount of DNA inside one of those gloves and it is sent to a lab for testing, that DNA could be used up in the testing. It's very hard to regenerate DNA for testing purposes. So what I'm saying is, if that lab in Florida uses up that touch DNA, it's over. Does he not realize what he is risking? He needs to go back to his basketball game and let the feds handle this in Quantico. But it's done. It is done. And I can't tell you the difference DNA makes in a case. That's the number one thing right now. Second is the vehicle. Trucks. The feds are looking for trucks. A gray truck in particular. They're asking everyone within a 2-mile radius to pull video and have they seen a truck? Have they seen a gray truck? And do they own a truck? And do they know somebody that does own a truck? Why did they focus on a truck? Because apparently a truck has been picked up on video surveillance around questionable times. Now, if you look at times at which they are searching, they're looking at a date back in January, 3 weeks before the incident, and they're looking at the time a day before the incidents. One is daytime, one is night. They're looking at surveillance video, and I think they've seen a gray truck surveilling the home in daytime conditions and nighttime conditions. Why do we need the vehicle? Nancy Guthrie was bleeding, and I don't care how much they clean that vehicle. They're not going to get rid of all the blood. A vehicle makes all the difference. Do I have to say Brian Kohberger? We know the DNA helped the case, crack the case, but it all started with an ID of an Elantra. And white Elantra, and that went over to WSU, Washington State University in Pullman, their local deputy dog at the campus police. He ran a white Elantra, and Kohberger's name came up at the get-go. Then you've got Molly Tibbetts, a young woman, jogging, college student. You know how they apprehended that perp? Because of a black Chevy Malibu caught on video. That's how important this gray truck is tonight. That and the DNA are what we need to focus on. We've got a physical description. It's loose. A guy, 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", dark hair, did have a mustache, did have facial hair, probably not anymore. But it's the DNA that will carry the day. And another thing, why I think they were looking at Carlos Palazuelos, I believe what you and I talked about on night one, Sean, CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, I think they picked up Palazuelos' cell phone in and out of that neighborhood, identified him, and then swooped in and got him. So they are working the phone angle. I know that for a fact.
Well, I know without the FBI there, they never would have gotten that videotape. And the Pima County Sheriff even said early on in a press conference that they would not have no access to any videotapes. He did say that. I hate this turf war thing. The glove seems to be the main thing. Do you remember early on, there was one neighbor that reported that in the days leading up to this abduction, that there was a white truck, white, gray, I don't know, different, but maybe close enough, that had been on the street, which seemed out of place. Maybe we go back to that point and maybe we find that white truck.
Well, interesting something that you brought up about that white vehicle. And that was, it was parked in the neighborhood. Nobody could identify it as being theirs. Didn't know whose it was. And if it was a repair person, it had no logo on the side, on the back, nothing. So what was it and why was it there? And again, there is no coincidence in criminal law. And if that white or gray vehicle was parked on the street and people had noticed it days in advance before Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped, and now they're looking for a gray vehicle, I think that's very probative, Sean.
Yeah. All right. So the glove, hopefully we get the DNA. Hopefully they might get a match, and hopefully the FBI and local law enforcement can put aside their differences and their egos and work together for the good of finding Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Grace, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.